It took exactly 24 hours for a single doorbell camera in a quiet North Carolina neighborhood to ignite a nationwide wave of outrage. What the lens captured wasn't a routine arrest. It was an explosion of force that immediately reignited one of the most painful, unresolved conversations in modern history. A 22-year-old rookie officer, a vulnerable 34-year-old woman, and a digital recording that left the community completely stunned. The speed at which the system reacted this time was almost unprecedented. Within 1 day, the officer was fired. Within 3 days, he was wearing a jail jumpsuit, facing criminal charges. But as the footage went viral, millions of people watching didn't just see an isolated incident. They saw a terrifyingly familiar pattern. They saw a white law enforcement officer and a black woman. And instantly, a question that has haunted America for generations began trending everywhere. When will this finally end? To understand why this case struck such a massive nerve, we have to look closely at what happened on that Friday afternoon. Police officers in the city of Shelby were responding to a standard domestic call regarding a suspected breaking and entering. When rookie officer Carson Hyder arrived on the scene, he encountered 34-year-old Sherry Moore. According to the initial police warrants, a physical struggle took place. The official report claimed that Moore attempted to flee on foot, resisted arrest, and allegedly assaulted the officer by ripping his uniform. In a different era, before the democratization of surveillance, that narrative would likely be the final word. But this neighborhood had a doorbell camera running. When that footage surfaced on social media, the public saw a completely different reality. The video appeared to show the officer forcefully throwing the 90-pound woman to the pavement, pinning her down, and repeatedly striking her directly in the face with a closed fist. The community's reaction was instantaneous. Protests formed within hours, demanding a response. And this time, under the immense pressure of a viral video, the gears of justice moved at lightning speed. By Saturday morning, less than 24 hours later, Shelby Police Chief Brad Frazier completed an administrative review. He called the footage disturbing and inappropriate, stating flatly that the use of force was completely unacceptable. Officer Hyder was summarily fired. By Monday morning, the State Bureau of Investigation stepped in. Hyder turned himself in, officially booked and charged with a criminal count of assault inflicting serious injury. The legal system immediately reversed its grip on the victim, completely dropping the charges against Sherry Moore. But as her attorney later revealed, the physical injuries, a suspected broken nose and a busted lip, were only part of the tragedy. Sherry is a woman struggling with severe mental health issues and homelessness. The public outrage boiled over because of a stark, unavoidable contrast. A trained, armed representative of the state using maximum violence against a highly vulnerable citizen. When videos like this hit the internet, the reaction from the American public follows a deeply intense pattern. It is a mixture of grief, exhaustion, and fury. But what exactly does the public do when they feel law enforcement has crossed the line? First, they weaponize accountability through digital amplification. In the digital age, a smartphone or a doorbell camera is a powerful tool against institutional secrecy. Millions of citizens become decentralized journalists, sharing the footage until mainstream media networks are forced to investigate. Second, this digital pressure forces institutional action. In the past, internal investigations could be buried under red tape for months. Today, viral transparency forces police chiefs, mayors, and district attorneys to act instantly to preserve public trust. And third, it leads to collective mobilization. People take to the streets, not because they hate law enforcement, but because they desperately want the law to apply equally to everyone, regardless of the color of their skin. To answer the question of when this cycle will end, we have to look directly at the data. Because, in America, the statistics tell an undeniable story. Law enforcement officers in the United States fatally shoot roughly 1,000 to 1,200 people every single year. While the majority of these cases involve armed individuals, a massive disparity emerges when you break the data down by demographics. Black Americans make up roughly 13 to 14% of the total U.S. population. Yet, they account for over 25% of those killed by law enforcement. Statistically, an unarmed Black American is more than twice as likely to be killed during a police encounter than an unarmed white American. From historic flashpoints like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor to the modern-day incident in Shelby, the data proves that interactions with authority figures carry fundamentally different levels of risk depending on your race. And studies show this systemic bias bleeds outside of law enforcement, affecting minority communities in healthcare access, banking loans, and court sentencing lengths. So, when does it end? True prejudice will not end with a single new law or a single guilty verdict. It ends only when we systematically dismantle the concept of the other. Science and genetics have proven definitively that race is a social construct, not a biological reality. We share 99.9% of our DNA with every single human being on this planet. Our variations are nothing more than geographical poetry, adaptations to sunlight, climate, and time. As we look at the footage out of North Carolina, let it serve as a mirror for the entire world. Because discrimination is a poison that doesn't care about borders. It does not matter what color your skin is, whether you are black, brown, white, or golden. It does not matter what country you call home or what continent your ancestors crossed to get there. It does not matter if you pray in a church, a mosque, a temple, a synagogue, or if you do not pray at all. When we look at another human being through the distorted lens of prejudice, we degrade our own humanity. Racism, xenophobia, and religious intolerance are diseases of ignorance. Let's choose to build a world where a person's character is the only currency that matters, where empathy overrides fear, and where the systems we build are designed to protect the vulnerable, not crush them. Thank you for watching. Let's keep this conversation alive in the comments below. How can we, as a global community, move past the divisions holding us back? If you believe in a world built on equality, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video. Stay safe, stay empathetic,